Campbell.
jump on a spaceship and just fuck off. There's one thing that Jacksepticeye does that I learned from before, right? And that is that whenever he hits record, he does a little 1, 2, 3, just to make sure that everything is synced, his mic and shit. We don't have to do that, but we could do a little something like that. You know what I mean?
Why? Why?
Because why not?
It's just me. Okay, 1, 2, 3, action.
We
There you
weren't
go.
synced again.
Okay,
1, 2, 3.
3.
Again. 1,
1,
2, 3.
3.
Hey!
That's better. Yeah.
Listen. And another thing, right? To get started, okay?
Mhm.
That not Jacksepticeye did, but my drama class did. Okay, we used to do some warm-ups.
I don't give a what do you mean?
we need to do
I'm
some
not
warm-ups.
doing a warm-up.
No. We're gonna do some drama class warm-ups.
No, we're not doing some
We're about to do some drama class warm-ups.
We're not.
Okay?
No, we're not.
Okay,
we're
so
not.
first off, we used to play games. Okay,
well,
we've already played games.
I'm on the clock here.
With.
I'm on the
No,
clock here.
no.
Yeah, I'm on the clock.
We play games. No. This is clockwork. This is like, when the cogs start moving, you just start.
It's already moving, bro.
Skibbity doo.
We've been trying to get it moving for like an hour now.
Cogs moving. The rusties. You know what I mean? The copyrighted already. Ka-chow. The rusties.
I think, right. Actually, back to the content. Do you think we should book it to Mars?
I would like to just disclaim that I have not copyright infringed on Disney's Cars. I was just saying
back to the
"Ciao"
content.
as a joke. Thank you very much. Okay. Should we book it to Mars?
Yeah, would you?
What do you think before I answer that, what do you think the popular opinion is? If you were to take a poll of just planet Earth, everyone had to write just yes or no.
I think that was like more people wanted to go to the moon in like 2013, 2012.
Okay, but that's to the moon. I'm talking to Mars. Do you think that the majority of the people on the planet,
it's the same like concept, it's just different planet.
There was a Matt Damon movie where he went to Mars and he made poop potatoes. Okay.
Yeah, so you see, that's
the issue, Martian, right? That movie, right?
Oh,
so
yeah,
that actually, right? That was a pretty popular movie. I reckon.
Yeah, but yeah, go.
Go ahead.
I reckon people, like I said prior, like a few years ago, were more like excited by the concept of going to the moon, the Mars, any like universal like exploration, because they didn't know about it. But then people started like the common like thing, like the Martian, even that pointed out, like you're farming potatoes, bro. Do you want to go to the Mars or any planet on that sake outside of Earth, travel like 7 years to sit there just looking at one piece of dirt?
I mean, obviously, going and colonizing a different planet, that would be years down the line, right? But should we book it to Mars is more of a question, I'd say, like, that you'd be posing to people, like, should we stay on our planet and try and fix it, try and reverse the
you want to take it as like the human race in general? And
yeah, should we book it to Mars, like us, right? Okay, yeah, okay. Let's take that question twofold, right? One being, should we book it to Mars, as in like the space race that happened, everyone wanted to go to the moon, first person to step on the moon, yada yada yada, right? Should we get to Mars, like send people there, and should like also like moving forward from that question, should we start colonizing Mars? So let's start with the first one, and I want you to tell me what your opinion is. Do you think the majority of people on our planet would rather, and I'm just going with scenario A, just sending people to Mars, right? Not colonizing, just sending, that they can colonize,
like right now,
because if you send them, that's pretty much a one-way, right? But do you think that we should book it to Mars? Yes or no? You personally. Let's do that first. You personally.
I think in the long run, yes, but I will definitely not be one of their guinea pigs that gets sent out there first. That's for them, sure.
No, we're sending you.
You got me confused,
We
bro.
don't
You
need
think
people above 6 foot on this planet anymore. Us
Yeah,
guys
yeah.
below 6 feet,
Mm.
we're struggling, man.
But on that note, actually, do I think we should book it to Mars? Yes, I think so, because you know it should be the grand scheme of things. Mars is the first step towards potentially exploring millions and how many planets down in the future line. Because realistically, right, the sun is gonna explode, way past Earth. That's kind of our kids' problem, a little bit like on them. Our kids, whatever, right? But eventually there will be an end to this planet, and eventually there will be an end to everything in reality. So
Okay,
generally speaking, to sustain us, I think yeah, we should book it to Mars. We should book it to any planet that's potentially habitable, just in case something happens to this planet, right? Because like, take the dinosaurs for example, bro. For all we know, they could have been smart ass creatures. They could have been
so
like
you are
geniuses
yes on both accounts then.
on yes accounts. Yeah, I'd say so.
Both
Yeah.
accounts, as in like we should go for exploring Mars, like man-made mission, like manned missions, and we should go for colonization as well.
I don't know about colonization. Colonization will have to be after the exploration part.
Well, yeah,
So
obviously one is going to be
yeah,
after the other, but like I'm
if it's
saying, you
viable,
would you
yes.
say
If
yes
it's
on both
viable,
accounts then?
if it's viable, yeah.
Okay, and before I give you my point of view, and back to the first question that I asked and we kind of skipped over it. Um, what do you think the majority of the planet thinks about those two questions?
I
If
think the
you were to
majority
put
of
out a
people.
poll right now to every single human being on the planet and they had it like say equal information, right? If they all had relatively the same amount of knowledge on the topic, right? What do you think the consensus would be? What do you think the majority would pick?
I think
51%.
I think majority of them would say, yeah, we should do it. But majority of them also wouldn't want to be the people that go. They would be definitely down to the exploration and colonization of the Mars, just as long as they're not the first to go. Because I think that's kind of how public opinion swayed in the recent years, right? Because before this, people were like, I want to go to the moon, I want to go to Mars, I want to go anywhere. And now they're just like, yeah, maybe I'm all right here. Maybe, just maybe I don't want to go to the like moon or the Mars or anything
Okay.
like that.
My opinion is that should we book it to Mars? I think, honestly speaking, yes. And I think we
But
should do it as fast as we can, safely, like as possible.
okay,
I think, and honestly, it's a very far off fetched, it's like a far fetched like idea, but this whole idea of space, let me reformulate this. I think moving back in time a little bit, right? I think the
so
space
when
race to the moon was great. It added competitiveness between the US and Russia were the major powers, right? Trying to go for that.
are you
Right.
referring to like back in the day?
Yeah,
Like,
I'm moving
yeah,
back in
okay,
the timeline a little bit, right?
yeah.
And I'm talking about the moon, right? And I'm gonna bring this full circle in a second. Um, I think that composition was great. It helped speed things up and get us to the moon much faster, right? But I also think that all that time spent trying to be better than the other person, I think if both parties or all three parties in this case, I think the Chinese are also really big on this now, right? Space stuff,
I reckon. Let me see.
right? I know that they're one of the
China
countries on the space station.
space
I mean, I'm
program.
not very
Let's see.
versed on that.
Yeah, so they do have their space program and all that.
Right. I know they have a
So,
spot on the
so
ISS.
currently, China is actually creating an orbiting space station. Well, that's their goal,
Okay.
and it's planning for more than 40 launches just this year alone.
I think personally, my opinion is yes, they should book it to Mars, but I think a little forward on that. I think there needs to be a non-put like aside from the politics, just a general unified world, like under say the
Oh
UN or
yeah,
something,
yeah.
right?
Okay, yeah. I want to see that work. Yeah, humans humans willingly sharing.
Collaborating, I
Yeah,
know, right?
yeah,
But I
sharing a whole
honestly think
planet.
we'd get there much quicker, and I honestly reckon that we'd get there much more efficiently. Do you know what I
I
mean?
doubt. I
Rather
doubt.
than cutting corners to try and get there first, you'd get there, you'd actually get things done. Like,
Right. I get what you're saying, but right. So on that note, I think that's wrong because competition breeds innovation. Without competitivity, we wouldn't be as evolved as we are today, you know? Even World War II and World War One, the amount of innovation that came from just the competition between businesses, right? Like
mhm.
it's mind blowing. So I think if they were to collaborate, it wouldn't be as effective as the one company having their livelihood bet on they're going to be better than this other person. I think that's a certain drive that can't be really matched by people being comfortable. You know, comfort, like being comfortable or being in your own circle with people that you know doesn't really breed results.
Counterpoint to that, I would actually say that I think competition in an area like this, I mean, it's great to a certain degree, but I think competition, like to the point where you start another space race, I think that would actually be detrimental to the projects because then people would be, like I said before, the countries would be more focused on let's get our people, let's get our ships to the moon, to Mars first, right? And get it done as fast as possible, right?
That's
I
the
think
point.
they would cut corners on efficiency. I think they would cut corners on things that we could potentially actually send together, tech that could
Yeah, but that's the
that could
point.
like be the best. Like instead of adding the best parts of every country, you are going with each country to their own, trying to figure out how to get there by themselves. I
Yeah,
personally think a more collaborative approach would help a lot
yeah, but
in
then you're
that
diving
sense.
into politics, and politics in this regard
I'm saying
won't.
completely politics out of it.
Yeah, but that's kind
Again,
of
like I
like
said, it's not a feasible solution because obviously world
yeah.
leaders are just not going to do that. The
Not just that,
imbeciles.
but I think collaborative to what you're thinking is unrealistic because to be that collaborative, like you would have to defy everything that's been brought through human history and everything. So I don't think
Why?
that on its own, because human history is built on like iron and blood. There's always competition. There's always this or that. It's never been,
Not the 21st century itself.
yeah, it has like not blood and iron, but now it's like technology. Technology. How many lives does technology kill? And like you're kind of here diving into politics if you don't want to like compare old history to nowadays, because nowadays wars aren't fought with iron and blood, but it's still the same emotions and driving factors as it was prior. People are greedy. People want this. People want that. And how are they going to do that before the other person? It's the same concept. It's just evolved with time. And I think competition here kind of breeds, even if, say, country A or country B gets there prior to the other one and they cut corners on efficiency and everything, they've made it there. They've made a step that no other place or group or entity or anything has ever done prior. So even though they made it there by cutting corners, they've made it there so now they can refine their process. You know, even if you create a business, even if you create a channel, even what we're doing here, right? Would you say this is the final? Would you say this quality we're providing here is the beginning and end of everything? No, we're clearly going to progress and evolve this idea, you know?
I don't think collaboration kills evolution. I
No,
think
collaboration wouldn't kill evolution. I never said it
but
would
you're
kill
saying
evolution.
that competition acts as a catalyst for
Innovation.
like innovation and evolution essentially, right?
I mean, evolution is a broad term, but I guess if we're on the same
You're
topic here,
evolving
yes.
you're evolving from phases of tech to new phases of tech, right?
I guess to an extent, yes.
Okay. Right. Forget all the semantics of the words, right? You
Okay.
get what I'm saying in the context,
Okay.
right? So my point is that you're basically saying because competition and collaboration are can be seen as opposites, right?
No,
Okay.
because
Then what's the opposite of
competition needs a level of collaboration. You just have different groups or entities that work together. You have Group A that collaboratively works together to beat Group B. It's just not
Okay, but what
everyone's
if you're talking
collaborating.
about entity one and entity two?
Yeah.
Person A, person B, not groups.
Well then, okay. So which individual is gonna take a whole country's like space program and involve
I'm
it?
not talking about that. I'm talking about just
If it's just
collaborate.
one person, then
I'm
it's
not talking
different.
about any space programs now. I'm just trying to figure this out, right?
Hmm.
In your mind, we only have to, just in this scenario, completely blanking out everything that we've been talking about, right?
All
I'm
right.
just trying to put up the point that collaboration and competition are opposites, right?
By the definition, yes.
Okay, because you just said that that wasn't the case.
No, it's the opposite in the way that they function, but they're not different in the
So
ways that they're
I'm working with
applied.
it by those definitions.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, they're different
Okay,
in terminology. Yeah.
they're the absolute opposites of each other.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Okay.
my point was when you said that world history and where we have gone in like innovatively and as a human race, right? You're basically saying that we've gotten here through a stream of iron and blood, essentially competition, right?
Yeah.
And you were trying to bring up the point that collaboration wouldn't help us to get there nearly as well as a competitive atmosphere, right? So you would rather that
Hmm.
instead of all the like major superpowers working together to get us to Mars, right?
Yeah.
You're saying that you'd prefer them to compete against each other to try and get to that goal,
Yeah. I would
to
prefer it.
potentially do it
Yeah.
better,
Yeah.
to potentially do it, to potentially refine on that
Like
idea, right?
I'm not trying to like discredit the like process of
Value of
collaboration. Yeah. Yeah.
collaboration, yeah.
Right. So like I'm still saying it would be effective. I just think a competitive environment would be better to breed results. I'm not
Okay.
saying they're going to be incapable because they're collaborating. They're still going to, make progression. I just don't think if it's not necessarily a race to another planet, but if it's you want to get there, right? I think if you were to look at a market or so, the best way would to be allow competition because it would give motive for the person to do it better, faster than the other
Okay.
one.
So my argument, because I'm playing devil's advocate here, right?
Yeah,
Not
no
that I
worries.
don't agree with your point.
Yeah,
I'm just trying
yeah,
to explore another point, right? What if instead of competing and creating another space race like we did for the moon, we collaborate and get there as well? And my main driving point is that drive, right? I don't believe that that is solely due to competition and deadlines and pressure that comes from competition. I honestly think that the minds on our planet that really want to get to Mars will get to Mars if they have to work together or not. Do you get what I mean?
okay.
And I personally think, in my opinion, right, that if you put those minds together, right, you can have different sources, different like sides of perspective to get the job done to the best degree possible. That instead of saying, oh, we as like the United States of America got to Mars first and therefore we did it the best, instead of saying that, we can say, we as a planet, as a race, as a species, have achieved this goal together. And we did it to the absolute best of our capabilities, period.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not trying to discredit that. You could go about it that way. I just don't think it's as effective. And
That's my point. I'm
yeah,
basically saying that I think that it would be more effective to go collaborative.
what's your thoughts on space exploration itself? Do you have anything to say about space exploration? The potential that there's millions or billions of planets, many of which we don't even know about. Doesn't that intrigue you? Doesn't that make you question, what's out
You
there?
know, that idea that you posed earlier, that majority of people on our planet would want to see this happen but wouldn't want to do it themselves, right?
Yeah.
Personally, I like if someone asked me right here, we're sending people out to do this mission. Chances with that kind of mission with the tech that we have right now, I'm assuming that are slim to come back, right?
I'm not quite sure, man. Probably.
It's pretty much going to be a one-way trip, right?
Yeah, guaranteed, probably.
Right. I don't know if I would want to do that personally. If I was asked right now. But I think it's very important.
I mean, yeah,
I
there's
think
always
the
are
idea
guinea
that we're
pigs.
using space probes to get this and data and that we don't have any man missions done, I think that's fine as long as we're getting the data that we need. Now, if it comes down to the idea that we're not getting enough explored because we don't have people out in the far reaches of space or however far
Yeah.
that we know of, right? The knowable observable universe, right? The fact that if that's hindering us that we don't have people out there, I honestly think personally I wouldn't mind going out and getting that done then, right?
I mean,
But
congrats.
I don't
I'll wish you well
think
from down on Earth. Yeah, like good. Yeah,
you
fun.
okay.
I ain't gonna go out into the outreaches of space trying to fight a fucking alien
Hey,
that's like
hey,
70
hey!
feet tall.
I'll send you a postcard,
There ain't no way I'm getting on that, bro. Hell no.
bro. That would be so okay. Actually, okay. Screw all these theoretical. Oh, is this best bit right? Wouldn't that be so fun?
No, because it's a
Honestly,
gamble.
jump on a spaceship and just fuck off.
No, bro, that's gambling. That's haram for you. What you
That's
mean, bro?
not
You're
gambling.
going out into the unknown, thinking maybe good, maybe bad. I don't know. Let's have a good
No,
time.
that
You could
sounds like
go out
so
there
much
and
fun.
you could be on a planet that has nothing except dirt, and you can't come back now. You book your one ticket. You're gone, bro. Or you could get there
I
and
mean,
there's an
okay,
alien war going on. All you know, the next thing you know, Reeb, hey, he's gone. He's getting
or
probed.
I'm the next alien warlord.
Yeah, well, have fun out there. Let me know how your career's advancing, being an alien warlord, whatever you're doing. While I'm on Earth, like chilling.
Bro, I'm telling you, man, it would be so fun. Little Buzz Lightyear Reeb. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh man, that like there's so many people on Earth. There's of course going to be people that be like, yes sir, sign me up. I'm going straight out. You got me some different type of up if you think I'm going out there, man. No
I'm
way.
dragging you with me, actually.
No, I'm throwing
Nah,
you out
nah,
that
nah.
spaceship.
You know
We
what?
would argue
Actually,
like a
I'm
weekend.
signing you up.
Like a weekend, we would fight, and I'd like throw you out the ship, bro. You're dangling. But space itself is very intriguing, and it's very like unknown, and I think that's what like
I think
bewilders
that'd
a
be
lot of
so
people.
much fun. I honestly think that would be so much fun.
So you think being an astronaut would be fun?
Space explorer.
A space explorer, yes. A space
Not an
explorer with
astronaut.
today's
Astronauts are,
technology.
bro. Astronauts are just going to space and chilling, bro. I'm talking about just going out and doing dumb.
Yeah, but then you think you have a spaceship and every. You're living in a fantasy world, my man.
Sir. Okay,
Uh-huh.
okay. Imagine, actually, though, right? You get out there, say you do make contact with another alien civilization, and say, best case scenario, they're not hostile, right? Imagine what you could do. Imagine what you could find, new that you could do, right? That you could never even thought of on Earth, right? Maybe you could even make that one-way ticket a two-way ticket back home. Anyway, I think it's time for us to call it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think we've really said all we could.
Yeah.
And I think in general, we've shared our thoughts. What about you guys? Could you share your thoughts below? Tell us what you think if you would disagree with what we've said or if you
Yeah,
would
please
argue something different. Yeah.
hit us up
Drop
on
some
Instagram. Hit us up on our in our comment
even the
section
heads,
below.
bro.
Please tell us what you guys think on everything we talked about.
Yeah.
And we'll
Yeah,
see you
for sure.
guys next time.